Distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm welcoming you to our 7th annual general meeting of Africa Prudential PLC. The company secretary has informed me that a quorum has been formed, and the registrar, having received 114 number of proxies representing 1,075,165,608 number of shares, therefore have great pleasure in declaring this meeting open. We had actually started at 11 a.m. and we are just continuing to explain that the meeting was actually scheduled to hold on Monday, March 23rd, 2020 at Transcorp Hilton, Abuja, but was postponed due to the outbreak of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria. Your company decided to hold an AGM by proxy in line with the guidelines of the Corporate Affairs Commission, having obtained the Commission's approval. However, owing to the movement restrictions in Lagos State, and in order to avoid further postponement of the AGM, the board decided to hold the AGM virtually, and the CAC was duly notified. I want to use this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation for all the health workers throughout the country who have been in the front line tackling the COVID-19 pandemic, and to the government for the constructive actions that it has been taking. I urge you all to endeavor to keep safe. Your company is in due compliance with all the guidelines and safety precautions. Having said that, once again, it gives me great pleasure to introduce myself and those participating with me at this meeting. At this meeting is the CEO of your company, Mr. Obong Idiong. At this meeting is the company secretary, Mr. Joseph Jibuno.
Good afternoon, shareholders.
And myself, Eniola Fadami, your chairman. Please note that I have the authorization of all your directors to represent them at this meeting. We also have with us representatives of the following regulators: the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mr. Godstime Iwenekai, the Securities and Exchange Commission, Mr. Obina Eguniwe,
Morning, Madam Chairman.
the Corporate Affairs Commission. I would also like to introduce to you representatives of the following organizations: our external auditors, Ernst & Young, Ms. Yitza Pina.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. The Registrar of Africa Prudential PLC, Mrs. Catherine Nwosu.
Good morning, distinguished shareholders.
Thank you. And the Statutory Audit Committee, represented by the chairman, Mr. Frank Chikezie.
Good afternoon. Good morning, shareholders.
Thank you. Also, our board evaluation consultant, Mr. Alagbe, is also present.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, shareholders.
Thank you. Please, when you speak, please indicate by show of hands and wait for the chairman to invite you to speak. Said. Kindly also note as shareholding and the records of attendance at board meetings of directors eligible for election are available for viewing by contacting the registrars. Please also note that the requisite information is available in the annual reports, which have already been distributed. I will now call on the Company Secretary, Mr. Joseph Jibuno, to read the notice of meeting.
Notice of Annual General Meeting. Notice is hereby given that the 7th Annual General Meeting of Africa Prudential PLC, earlier postponed due to COVID-19 pandemic, will now hold on Tuesday, April 28, 2020 at 11 a.m. to transact the following businesses. Ordinary business, to lay before the members the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2019, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. 2, to declare a dividend. 3, to re-elect the following directors retiring by rotation. Chief Mrs. Eniola Fadayomi, Mr. Peter Shade. 4, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. And 5, to elect members of the statutory audit committee, dated this 3rd day of April 2020 by order of the board. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
I will now ask the representative of the external auditors to read the auditor's report.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. My name is Yaza Peña from Ernst & Young. Our audit report can be found in pages 66 to 70, however, from the originally issued audit report of Ernst & Young. Independent auditors report to the members of Africa Prudential PLC. Report on the audit of the financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of Africa Prudential PLC, enclosed the company, which comprises statement of financial position as at 31 December 2019, and the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the statement of changes in equity, and the statement of cash flows for the year that ended, and notes the financial statements, including summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements of Africa Prudential fairly in all material respects the financial position of the company as of 31 December 2019 and of its financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards as issued by the International Accounting Standards Board, enclosed IASB, and the relevant provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Chapter C20, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act, Number 6, 2011. Basis of opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing, enclosed ISIS. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements section of our report. We are independent of the company in accordance with the International Ethics Standards Board of Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, enclosed ISBA Code, and other independence requirements applicable to performing the audit of Africa Prudential PLC. We have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the ISB Code and in accordance with other ethical requirements applicable to performing the audit of Africa Prudential PLC. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide the basis for our opinion. I would direct everyone to and would consider the pages that can be found on 66, 67, and 68 as considered as read. However, I'd like to continue with on page 69 of the audit of the annual report in respect to the report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the requirement of Schedule 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Chapter C20, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, we confirm that 1, we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2, in our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept by the company insofar as it appears from our examination of those books. 3, the company's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts. And 4th, in our opinion, the financial statements have been prepared in accordance with the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Chapter C-20, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, so as to give a true and fair view of the state of affairs and financial position. Signed, Jami Olakisan, FCA, FRC/2013/ICANN/00000003918 for Ernst & Young, Lagos, Nigeria, date 25 February 2020. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll now ask the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee to read the committee's report.
Chairman, Statutory Audit Committee, I present the report of the Statutory Audit Committee, African Prudential PLC, for the year ended 31st December 2019, to the members of African Prudential Committee. The report is found on page 50 of the annual report. In compliance with section 359, subsection 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C-20, LFN 2004, the members of the Statutory Audit Committee of African Prudential PLC as follows. A, the Audit Committee met in exercise of its statutory responsibilities in accordance with section 359, subsection 6 of CAMA. B, we have examined the auditor's report, including the financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2019. C, we have also deliberated with external auditors, reviewed their findings and recommendations, and confirmed that the auditor's report for this period is consistent with our review. And D, we are satisfied that the accounting and reporting policies of the company are in accordance with legal requirements and meet ethical standards. Signed, Frank Chikeze, Chairman, Statutory Audit Committee, FRC/2003/CIBN/0000005239. The other members of the Statutory Audit Committee are Mr. Tajuddin Adeshina, Mr. Kabiru A. Tambari, Mr. Samuel Wanze, Hajia Amunala Wanali, and Mr. Peter Elumelu. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 9 of the annual report. Now, pursuant to section 224 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, I hereby declare that a poll be taken on all resolutions for consideration. The resolution for the election of members of the Statutory Audit Committee, it shall be by show of hands. Since this is an AGM by proxy and the votes on all the proxy forms duly submitted have been collated by the registrars, I would ask the registrars to share the voting results on the resolutions upon their introduction for consideration. Is to receive the director's report and the audited financial statements as at December 31, 2019. You now have an opportunity to ask questions regarding the reports and financial statements. In doing so, it would help to ensure that we give the right answer. If you could refer to the page of the reports and financial statements to which your question relates, remember to raise your hands to enable the chairman recognize you to speak. The CEO and I would be pleased to answer any question which you may have on the reports and the financial statements before we proceed. So I'm inviting questions, Dr. Farouk. I'm inviting questions from any of the shareholders that are present.
Good morning,
Dr.
Chairman.
Farouk? Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Dr. Farouk, could you?
Hello,
Hello, yes.
Madam Chairman.
Yes. Who is speaking? State your name, please.
Okay, my name is Olugbosun Banji.
Yes.
My name is Olugbosun Banji. I would like to talk on the financial performance on pages 33, on pages 33, 37, 38, and 37. Looking at results at a glance and statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income, our turnover is 3,902,102,000, a decline of 13% over the previous fiscal financial year. This is due to a decline in T-bill, in treasury bill yield. I want to encourage us to continue to research or scour into more business opportunities that can generate more income other than the treasury bills. I'm happy about our business diversification and the successful go live of our digital technology business under the African Prudential Innovation Lab. This has enlarged our revenue basket. I want us to do more. Also, Mr. Chairman, I want to commend you on all you have been doing to digitally transform our company, especially in the areas of customer, data, innovation, and automation. Your various achievements, milestones, and awards on pages 5 and 6 are laudable. Mr. Chairman, on pages 37, 72, and 73, that is a result at a glance.
Yeah.
Result at a glance.
Please,
And
continue.
okay, results at a glance and statement of financial position. Our fair value reserve decreases from 1,043,202,000 positive to 20,728,000 negative. May I know what engenders this sharp decrease or decline, ma'am? And again, on pages 116 and 117, 5-year financial summary. Our net asset value has been on the increase since 2016, but in 2018, it decreases from 8.6 billion to 8.3 billion. What are we doing, ma, to prevent another downslide in the year 2020? And finally, madam, on pages 33 and 34, that is dividend. One of the things shareholders want is to be rich as soon as possible. That is to maximize current wealth. A 40% growth in dividend per payout is highly welcome. It is the sweetest palliative a shareholder can receive now during this total lockdown. Thank you, ma'am, for the opportunity given me.
Thank you. Before we go on further, I just want to remind our shareholders that the chairman's statement is on page 24 of the annual report. Copies of this have already been distributed to all shareholders and available on the company's website. And with your permission, I would wish to waive my reading of the statement out loud.
Granted.
Yes, so I just thought we should clear that. Thank you very much. And I'm calling on the CEO, Mr. Obong Idiong, to respond to some of these areas on our financials.
Thank you very much for the question, Mr. Olabosun. On the balance sheet, the drop in cash and cash equivalent compared to other year. Yes, there was a sharp drop in cash and cash equivalent, but this was due to cash investment movement in short-term deposits to debt instruments at amortization cost. We also talked about there was also a difference in equity as a result of the changes in the evaluation of our reserves, fair value reserves, and retained earnings. For the loss of unquoted equity that you mentioned, we had for the loss of unquoted equity. This was due to the return of investment at cost, which is not considering the fair value we had gained over the years. If you recall, over the years in the accounts, we had gained some fair value over them, and as a result of the fair valuation of the financial instrument. On the general turnover, in terms of the decline and for the period and compared to the last year, you would know that, again, like you rightly said, there was a decline in the yield environment. We have about 55% of our income coming from 55% of our income coming from investment income. And what we've done is, if you look at also on our accounts for the first time, we actually now have a line on technology. We started seeing gains in that. We earned some income from there, which is in line with our digital, our diversification strategies into digital technology. If you could also, this is what we're using to increase and create more revenue lines for the company. We see that also playing a lot in the coming years. Thank you.
Please always give your name. Thank you. Can you ask your question? Can you ask your
Thank
question?
you. I want to commend the company for a successful financial year, and I say more kudos to you. Madam, I would like to talk about page 136, and I will compare it to page 116. I observed in the annual report that we are no more owing any bank. We are no more working for the bank. And also we have an earning reserve of about 6 billion. So, I would like to put it to you that for in the coming year, you should look into it of giving us a bonus. I think the company has the capacity now to issue the bonus. And I believe with the shareholders, we have long due for this bonus. Please look into it and give us a bonus. Also, I would like to raise the issue about some retail shareholders that have 1,000, 2,000 units and they have died. How can their loved ones, their children, how can they be able to retrieve and gain access to their deceased investment without doing letter of administration? You know, they are just little investments that going through the process of letter of administration may be a very, very difficult task for them. Are you hearing me, ma?
I'm hearing you perfectly.
Okay, ma. So how can you assist? Okay, in the issue of each letter of administration also, and our company also look into this area. Some people want to do it. They don't know the way and manner of which they can do it. Can the company also provide such service to our investors? That is my question and contribution, ma. Thank you.
Chairman.
Dr. Farouk, yes,
Chairman. Let me begin by commending the board for the 70 kobo dividend we are getting. Chairman, this is equivalent to what some banks in the country are even paying. I think we should commend the board for that. Secondly, I also want to commend you for your diversification, because the business today is no longer relying on unclaimed dividend. You have gone into IT, and we can see that we are making a lot of progress. But I have two questions to ask you. One is, in view of the rules coming from SEC and the anticipation of unclaimed dividend fund that SEC is thinking of establishing, how do you see our business going forward? Secondly, with this coronavirus, what has been the performance of the company for the first quarter? I just fear that with this lockdown and the business environment we are in, we may not be able to make as much profit as we have made this year. But I commend the board and the leadership of the group. UBA has gone out to donate to all the states in the country. This is commendable, and we commend Tony Elumelu for his good leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have both thrown into light some of the challenges we are facing, and we are quite happy for the CEO to explain to you how we have been tackling with these issues. And despite the challenges that we have maintained our position as one of the leading companies in terms of the return on dividends. So Mr. Obong will give you the details to each of the issues highlighted.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. And thank you very much, shareholders, for your questions. I'll just start with the first speaker who talked about a bonus. I'm not sure what he meant by a bonus there, but I think that as Chairman just rounded up saying, we're declaring, one of the requests we have in this meeting is to pass a resolution to declare 70 corporate dividend. This will be, if you look at since 2013 when the company have listed, we've consistently, in the last 6 years, we've consistently had an average dividend yield, of 14%. And this is part of what we're going to declare at this meeting. So maybe you can take that as your bonus. For the retail shareholders, you rightly mentioned the case of the problem with dividend we have in the market. For Africa Prudential, apart from the fact that we have a whole team of about 14 people in our customer experience center actually calling shareholders and trying to get shareholders to fill their mandate forms so that they can mandate this and their accounts. We've had a lot of, as the year goes by, we increase our cash payout of unclaimed dividend. So with the regulator set coming up with a lot of other, innovative ideas, the payout of dividend has become more. But we understand, yes, the process of getting the letter of administration is a very tedious one. We are also, in fact, one of the things that happened in Lagos High Court was they had, to a certain extent, automated this process. We're talking to them to see how that can be more efficient and how we can benefit so that the unclaimed dividends from deceased shareholders can easily be obtained by the beneficiaries. On the step establishment of the fund, it is neither here nor there. We've not heard anything. If we get anything from the regulators, we'll take it from there. But in terms of unclaimed dividend, and of course, we look at the market, the introduction of a lot of electronic channels in the capital market, we see that the reliance on unclaimed dividend to as a consistent revenue line, and also with the decline in the yield environment, we're still seeking. We keep pushing our divestment drive. We're still looking at going into technology. Dr. Farouk talked about Q1. Yes, we were affected, but to an extent that we had to move our annual general meeting and also those of our clients to Q2 in terms of because of the coronavirus pandemic. But as we in the Q1 result which we had released, if you look at the results, you will see there were a lot of remarkable increase in terms of our technology, that we did about 980% more than the prevailing quarter, and some other things. For our coronavirus response, we immediately initiated our business continuity plan. Everybody for the last 4 weeks, from the 23rd of March to today, everybody at the company Africa Prudential continues to work from home. We had already tested this plan a week before. We continue to work from home. Every shareholder's request is dealt with. We still continue with our board meetings, our board committee meetings, our management meetings. And we believe that, again, because as we have all evolved into a technology company, we believe that that has brought a lot of gains in terms of us even being able to embrace technology and work from home. We also support the government's efforts. The capital market and participants have come up with trying to raise $1 billion to also contribute to the coronavirus and to the fund and to support those that have been affected. You know, and we are part of that. We believe that yes, as it's affected globally, there is with the pandemic and the closure, a lot of markets and economies have been affected. But we're trying to see how we can lessen that impact. But yes, there's an impact globally. Thank you very much, shareholders.
Thank you very much. You can see that despite all the challenges and the environment your company has been able to continue to do well and increase in its benefits. So the next item on the agenda is the declaration of dividend. For the financial year ended 31st of December 2019, the directors are recommending a dividend of 70 kobo for every ordinary share of 50 kobo each to all shareholders whose names are in the company's register of members. I hereby move that a dividend of 70 kobo for every ordinary share of 50 kobo each be paid to shareholders whose names appear in the company's register of members as at close of business on the 6th of March 2020. Would someone please second the motion?
Chairman. Yes, Madam, I second the motion, Dr. Farouk Omar.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. The registrar is already conducting it. He has already conducted a poll. So the motion is put to the meeting.
For the purpose of this meeting, we received 114 proxies with a total of 1,075,165,608 units of shares, representing 53.76% of the issued share capital of Africa Prudential PLC. For the declaration of dividend, the result of the poll is as follows: 1,075,165,608 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the votes cast by proxy voted against the resolution, and there is no abstention. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you very much. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is the re-election of retiring directors. In line with the provisions of Article 13 of the Articles of Association of the company, at the annual general meeting in every subsequent year, 1/3 of the non-executive directors for the time being shall retire from office and be eligible for re-election. The directors retiring by rotation and who, being eligible, have presented themselves for re-election are Chief Mrs. Eniola Fadayomi and Mr. Peter Ashade. Please note that since voting is by poll, re-election of directors have to be taken individually. I will also add that since I am one of the directors being eligible and has presented myself for re-election, I am going to hand over to another director, the managing director Mr. Obong Idiong, to take over the proceedings for this part in line with due process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. I hereby move that Chief Mrs. Eniola Fadayomi, who is retiring by rotation and has offered herself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected. Will someone please second the motion?
Chairman.
Go ahead, sir, please.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Adeleke Oladimeji. I hereby second the motion.
Thank you. And I'll put the motion to the meeting. Register, kindly announce the result of the poll, please. Thank you.
For the re-election of Chief Mrs. Eniola Fadayomi as a Director of Africa Prudential PLC, the result of the poll is as follows. 1,075,165,608 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the votes cast by proxy voted against the resolution, and there is no abstention. Thank you very much.
I hereby move that Mr. Peter Ashade, who is retiring by rotation and has offered himself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected. Would someone please second the motion?
I do second the motion, Chairman. Dr. Farouk Umar.
For the re-election of Mr. Peter Ashade as a Director of Africa Prudential PLC, the result of the poll is as follows. 1,075,165,608 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the votes cast by proxy voted against the resolution, and there is no abstention. Thank you very much, Madam.
Thank you very much. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors, Messrs. Ernst & Young. The law, section 361, subsection 1 of CAMA, requires that their remuneration be fixed by the company in a general meeting or in such a manner as the company may determine general meetings. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the external auditors for the year ending 31st of December 2020. Would someone please second the motion?
Thank you. The name once again is Adeleke Oladimeji. I hereby second the motion.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrar, could you kindly announce the results of the poll?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. For the resolution to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors, the result of the poll is as follows. 1,075,165,608 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the votes cast by proxy voted against the resolution, and there is no abstention. Thank you very much, Madam.
Thank you very much. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is the election of members of the Statutory Audit Committee. The directors nominated represent the board on the Statutory Audit Committee are Mr. Peter Elumelu, non-executive director, Mr. Samuel Nwanze, non-executive director, and Madam Amina Lawan, independent non-executive director. Thank you. At a total of 3 valid nominations were received for membership of the Audit Committee from shareholders. The following members have been validly nominated to represent the shareholders on the Audit Committee. Mr. Frank Chikezie, shareholder, Mr. Tajuddin, additional shareholder, and Alaji Kabiru Tambari, shareholder. Since the 3 shareholders nominees are unopposed, I hereby move that the following persons have been validly elected as members of the Audit Committee. Mr. Frank Chikezie, Mr. Tajuddin additional, and Alaji Kabiru Tambari.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again, is Adeleke Oladimeji. I hereby second the motion that the statutory audit committee in the person of Alaji Tambari, Tajuddin additional, and Mr. Frank Iweke should continue their good job they are doing with the company. Thank you.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Ladies and gentlemen, as there is no other business on the agenda, I thank you all on behalf of the board for attending this meeting, being the first virtual meeting of this company and showing so much interest in your company affairs. I call on Dr. Farouk Umar to give us a closing prayer.
Chairman, thank you very much. We pray to Allah to bless APR, to bless UBA, give our chairman the strength and wisdom to keep making profit for the company. We pray to Allah to give good health to the board, the entire board, staff and management of APR, and shareholders as well. We pray to Allah to bring an end to COVID-19 and to help the rich to provide for the poor in this country. We pray to Allah to guide our leaders, to guide our president, our governors, so that they will be able to tackle the coronavirus issue we have in the country. And we pray for peace and stability in the country. And we pray for Allah to give good health to our group chairman, Tony Elumelu, and to help him continue to assist the youth he has been assisting in this country. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun ala al-mursaleen, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ameen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, since there's no other matter, we have considered all matters on the agenda. We bring this event to a close. The AGM is hereby closed. Thank you.